He was the most naturally gifted English footballer of his generation, a genius who made a nation cry with joy, but the same wild spirit that made him magical would over the years slowly destroy him. This is the tragedy of Gazza. Paul Gascoigne, known to everyone as Gazza, burst onto the scene with a rare natural talent. He could dribble, pass and score, combining strength and skill in a way English football rarely produced. What set him apart was his creativity and joy. He played with a childlike freedom, trying the unexpected, delighting crowds. He did not just win matches, he made football fun to watch. At his best, he could do things no one else could. A drop of the shoulder, a burst of pace, a moment of vision, all delivered with a grin, as if the whole thing were a game to be enjoyed. His defining stage was the 1990 World Cup. Young Gazza dazzled the world, driving England on with fearless, brilliant performances that announced him as a global talent. But it was a moment of emotion that made him an icon. Booked in a crucial match, knowing it would rule him out of a possible final, Gazza broke down in tears on the pitch. Those tears touched a nation. Here was a young man who cared so deeply, so openly, that he wept in front of the world. England fell in love with him, and he became a national treasure. After that tournament, Gazza was a superstar. His fame exploded far beyond football. He was on magazine covers and the newspapers, adored and pursued everywhere he went. On the pitch, the genius continued. He scored spectacular goals, including an unforgettable strike for England against Scotland, flicking the ball over a defender before volleying it home. But the wild spirit that made him magical had a darker side. Gazza lived chaotically, drank heavily, and struggled to control the same reckless energy that made him special on the pitch. His teammates loved him deeply. Behind the chaos was a warm, generous man who wanted more than anything to make people happy, both with football and his relentless practical jokes. The first great blow was self-inflicted. In a cup final, hyped up and out of control, Gazza made two reckless challenges and badly injured his own knee. It was a catastrophic setback. That injury cost him a year and some of his explosive edge. It was the first sign that his own nature, as much as any opponent, might be the greatest threat to his career. He recovered and had more brilliant moments, including at the 1996 European Championship on home soil. The genius was still there, flashing brightly whenever he was fit and focused. But the pattern was set. Periods of brilliance were followed by injuries, chaos, and personal trouble. His lifestyle chipped away at his fitness and his focus, season after season. As the years passed, the decline deepened. His career drifted to smaller clubs, and his personal struggles grew more serious. The joyful young genius was slowly disappearing. The deepest problem was addiction. Gazza fought long, public battles with alcohol, struggles that continued long after his playing days ended. The illness overshadowed everything else. It is important to see him as a person, not just a player. Behind the goals and the laughter was a vulnerable man who struggled deeply and who needed help more than judgment. Because Gazza's talent was never the problem, he had more natural ability than almost any English player before or since. What he lacked was protection, support, and the tools to cope. Imagine what he might have achieved with the support systems modern players have. Proper care for his fitness and his mind might have turned a brilliant career into an all-time great one. Here is my honest opinion. Gazza is a heartbreaking example of extraordinary talent, undone by a lack of care. The genius was real, the tragedy is that the sport did not know how to protect it. His story helped change football, slowly. It became part of a wider awakening about players' mental health, and the duty of clubs to support the person, not just the performer. The lesson reaches far beyond football. Raw talent is fragile. Without support, structure, and care for the person behind the gift, even the brightest ability can be tragically lost. England never quite replaced him. For decades afterwards, fans wondered why the country struggled to produce another player with that same fearless, joyful, match-winning creativity. So that is the tragedy of Gazza. The most gifted English footballer of his generation, who made a nation cry with joy, undone by a wild spirit and a lack of care. Genius and heartbreak together. If you love football stories told straight, subscribe to Sports Vogue so the next one finds you, and share this with a mate who would argue about it all night. And then tell us in the comments which story we should break down next. We will see you at the next one.